All right, we're live. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the PMP or PMP. I am your host, TJ Riddell, and we're here at a different venue today. We're here in a different setting. Actually, we're here in Texas. As you can see, I'm not wearing Baylor. I'm wearing UCF today, representing the Knights over in Central Florida. But I'm here with a special guest here today. He is co-host of the PMP, and also he runs his own YouTube channel called Simhead Academy. This dude and I have grown up together playing football. We have went to school together for many, many years, and we're practically family. So that's part of the reason why I'm here. The other reason, talk about football. And so we'll bring him on here in a minute. He's just doing some things real quick. But I'm excited about what we're going to be talking about here today. So we'll be talking about the playoff formats for college football and NFL. Our opinions on what the formats really look like, or what it should look like, instead of what they are at a current state. We'll be talking a little bit of college football news, kind of on the fly, But we're mainly just talking about preseason rankings for the NFL, so that way we can kind of figure out who we got going into the regular season as division leaders, who could possibly be in the playoffs, or who's going to be a sleeper team. So I'm excited to talk about it with this guy. We've been playing this for months. Ladies and gentlemen, here he is, the man himself, K-Dub. You can say hi.
Is it live?
It is live, bud. Yeah, some crazy stuff in this world. TJ and Caleb finally together live on the PMP. So as soon as he gets in here, we'll get down to business. But I just want to give a special shout out to a family member of mine here in Central Texas. She's been great to me. She's about to turn 89 next month. She's a strong woman, and I hope to see her again whenever I come back up here. But Big 12 media days came around. I mean, it's been crazy past couple of months. I mean, Texas and Oklahoma already announced that they were going to the SEC now. USC and UCLA going to the Big Ten, and then there's rumors going around saying that Arizona State, Colorado, and Utah were the front runners to go into the Big 12. Meanwhile, the Oregon and Washington are still looking for a conference to go to as well. So they're in talks with the Big 12, the Big 10. I mean, it's exciting football so far, and a lot of commitments have been going on. If you haven't followed us on Twitter, it is Pigskin Mafia Pod, at Pigskin Mafia Pod. So be sure to follow on our Twitter if you really want to follow recruiting trails. So we'll be keeping an eye on the next stars in college football. But like I said, here in a little bit, Caleb will be here, and we should be able to get started. And here he is.
Okay.
I will leave it to you, good sir.
How's it going?
Introduce yourself to the
You're doing
live
my house. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, easy.
All right, how's it going? Big scheme off you. Sorry for the inconvenience there on me trying to be a little late there. So what do we got for today?
So today we're going to be talking a little bit about college football and the NFL playoff formats. What we think about the formats. So a little bit of a quick rundown on the formats and a little bit of a quick news from college football. I'll take care of that since Caleb's an NFL guy, not a college football fan.
Mm-hmm. You bring them to me. Bring the players to me, and I'll talk about them. That's how it works.
So, but mainly we're going to be talking about NFL divisions. See where we're going to classify who's the best out of each division, who's a sleeper in that division. So, let's go ahead and begin with college football news. Like I said, guys, we're going to be popping on the fly with this. I mean, we've been busy, or I've been traveling since yesterday, trying to get here, and haven't really had much time to go through college football news. I did see, however, Oregon's one of their players passed away today. Trying to remember his name. I know his last name is Webb. So from the PMP, we'd like to extend our prayers out to the Oregon Duck family and the Webb family. If I could just find out the news real quick. Went on the wrong website. But, so Oklahoma State football coach asked why Texas and Oklahoma allowed in Big 10 business or Big 12 business since they're leaving for the SEC. So that's pretty big, man, because you got big colleges like UCLA, USC going into the Big 12 to the Big 10.
Oh yes.
But then you got Texas and Oklahoma's going to the SEC. The good news about Texas, we allow our rivals to play us, not Texas A&M, and just tuck in between their tails. Sorry for all you Aggie fans out there. Not sorry.
Yeah.
So Oklahoma State, this is from Dave Wilson from the ESPN staff writer. Oklahoma State football coach Mike Gundy offered advice jokingly. He said to new Big 12 Commissioner Brett Yormark on Wednesday, "Don't let the Texas Longhorns and Oklahoma Sooners continue to participate in the league's business meetings." Gundy, who has been the Oklahoma State head coach since 2005, and said he's surprised that Texas and OU, who will join the SEC on July 1st, 2025, if not earlier, were still involved in Big 12 meetings. He said, "It's interesting. We go to conference meetings and OU and Texas are in there. They're still in the conference, but I'm guessing when they leave, they're scratching down things that can help them when they're in the SEC. So it is an unusual situation. I think there's a business side of it that nowadays people say, it is what it is," which 10 years ago, they might not even let them in the meetings.
Yeah.
So what's your take on that? Like from a head coach standpoint, he's got a point as far as like, why are we still letting these guys in if they're just bouncing out of the conference?
Yeah, I agree. I think that there's some little fault there for that situation.
Yeah.
Hopefully they can get it situated though. If not, next couple weeks at least. That's pretty. It can turn out to be pretty ugly though.
It might not be, or it's probably uglier than what USC and UCLA are going through right now. And well, UCLA is part of the California University sistership, you know. So what that means, folks, is Texas A&M has so Texas A&M Corpus Christi belongs to Texas A&M. So UCLA belongs to Cal, but UCLA is trying to be their own independent program, not just program, their own athletic department. And here's the thing too, that's a lot of rivalries come and gone in the Pac-12. So we're seeing the Pac-12 diminish. I just mentioned earlier that Arizona State's leaving. That's a big rivalry. You got Colorado leaving, going back into the Big 12 possibly, and then Utah possibly rejoining BYU in the Big 12. So if you're the Pac-12, what do you do in this situation, and how do you keep this conference alive? It may not be as strong as it once was before, but how do you get it from deteriorating completely? Do you go out and find smaller schools possibly?
I mean, there's always some diamonds in the rough there. They're definitely going to have to be, if they want to stay, up to date and stay kind of active, just like what all the other programs are.
Yeah,
they're going to have to, really dig deep and look for these players that are coming and going.
Yeah, and I got to say, man, with what's going on with the Pac-12 right now, it's looking like the Pac-12 is going to die anytime soon. But and I don't mean die by like death. I mean like there's no more Pac-12 conference. So just to clarify that, folks. But yeah, so we're just talking a little bit of college football, just a little tiny bit. But now we get into the playoff formats. Okay, there's been a lot of issues with the college football playoff format. You can agree with me on that one.
Yeah, they're still trying to get it together. I can kind of see what they want to do, but I still think it should be like a bigger format.
Yeah.
It's just too small in my regards, at least at the moment.
Yeah, and several years ago, Mike Leach, who is now the head coach of the Mississippi State Bulldogs, shout out to Mike Leach, he mentioned that we should have a 64-team playoff in college football. I mean, if you look at
basically March Madness for football.
Yeah, pretty much. And if you look down here in Texas, Florida, California, they have just about the same as what Mike Leach was talking about. A 64-team playoff. I mean, you got pretty much the Power Four now.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea because it really opens up to it's okay to lose maybe a game here or there.
Yeah.
In the actual season, because then you can sometimes teams they get better as the season goes on.
Yeah.
And by doing that, I think it gives every team just a little more push, a little more of a chance to find their identity and the way they run things.
So, with what I'm about to say, Mike Leach is probably not going to like me for this, but I think it's a little bit too much with the 64-team playoff. If you look at the FCS level, where they got a 20-team playoff, so they have play-ins and then actual playoffs, just like the NBA structure. I think it could go that way if they really wanted to, but I really think the top 16 teams should play out.
Yeah, 16.
Yeah, so top 16 teams, because football season shouldn't go past 16 in high school and 20 in college. So,
that makes sense.
And we're already on the verge of just going up with scheduling, and also we're trying to create super conferences. So why just put 64 teams when you can have the top 16?
Yeah.
And you put your conference champions in the top 8.
That'd be something to look at for sure.
Yeah, but it's the college football playoff committee. They don't understand playoffs apparently, because they just go, all right, we'll put the top 4 teams in, like a bunch of dumbasses. And
It's not as exciting.
It really isn't. You see the same teams every year. I mean,
For the most part.
For the most part. I was glad that Michigan and Cincinnati got some recognition.
Let it be more of a play-in.
Yeah, that 5 and 6 where they're the first ones out, they should be playing in for that 3 and 4 spot.
Oh yeah.
So maybe a 6-team playoff would work better. I don't know. For you guys that are watching the live stream or that will watch the live stream later on today, put your comments down there. What do you think the NCAA or the College Football Playoff Committee should do? A 6-team, a 8-team, 16, 32, or 64, or hell, 120-team playoff? That's a rare one, but
yeah, I think 16 or 32 would be the sweet spot.
Yeah, because the FCS level already has 20. Yeah, so
that seems pretty solid.
Yeah, but now, since we're talking about playoff formats, what about the NFL? Do you think they opened it up way too much for the playoffs, or do you think they could go more, or do you like that?
Yeah, so I think it's fine. I mean, I've heard a couple people say that they don't like it as much because you get some teams that are like 8 and 9 that go in there. It just seems like it's not even winning season. So how are you here? So you get more of those teams. So some of the playoff games, they don't seem as competitive at times. But I mean, even then, like I said, it doesn't bother me any. I still am trying to get used to the whole extra game add-on to the season.
Yeah.
So
for sure. I mean, aren't we all, guys? Aren't we all still trying to get used to the extra game, the extra Thursday night games, the extra holiday games, and also you got a 3 per conference, 3 game playoff wild card, really.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much a play-in for the actual divisional round. So I'm more leaning towards getting rid of the playoff format that we have now. I just think that there's unnecessary teams in there that don't need to be in there. And also, in my opinion, if a division has got a losing record going into the playoffs, they should not be allowed in it.
Yeah.
We've seen that numerous times, and I feel like if you got the 3rd best team in the AFC North, but you got the 1st place team in the division or in the 4th spot in the division winner spot, and they got a 7-10 record. So say it's the Chargers, they got a 7-10 record. But you got the AFC North side, you got Cincinnati, they're sitting pretty at an 11-6. They're division winners.
Yeah.
Then you got the Baltimore Ravens at 10-7, and then you got the Cleveland Browns at 9-7.
Mm-hmm.
So there's one more spot that could have been filled, but that division winner has that spot. So with that being said, I think with the division winner that has a losing record, and you see a team that could have made it to the wild card, but they didn't make it due to that, I think it's malarkey. I think that division leader should not even be in that playoff spot.
Yeah, I gotta agree on that as well.
Yeah, like we're Cowboys fans, so we see it all the time, pretty much, for the most part. Whenever the Cowboys start to struggle, everybody starts to struggle. When Cowboys start doing good, the Eagles start doing good. But we'll talk a little bit about that here in a minute. But yeah, I just feel like we should stick back to the traditional playoff spot because you're pretty much making it fair for everybody. You know what I mean? So they're not trying to make guys develop.
Yeah,
teams develop.
Yeah, I don't think it'll stick. I think it's going to be maybe a year or two kind of thing.
You think they'll advance it, like try to make it to where it's an 8-team playoff on each conference? I could see them going that way. Kind of like how the old NBA playoff bracket was.
Oh yeah.
So I could definitely see that, but
I mean, that's not even a problem though. Like,
yeah,
you get these overtime rules.
Oh yeah,
We'll talk about
that's
that another day. That's a whole other story.
that's his quote. But now we're gonna be talking about what we've been wanting to talk about this entire time. Our preseason rankings. So who's gonna be our division winners? Who's gonna be our sleepers? And who's gonna be our dark horses? So we're gonna start off on the AFC conference side. Okay. We're gonna start off with the toughest decision to make. The AFC West. Now, a lot of people are going to disagree with me on this because
every team,
every team is stacked.
Better. Every team got better,
and it's hard to debate this one because
Chiefs, I can't really say they got better, but they're still really good.
Yeah,
and they're going to have a really hard time keeping that division.
So you're probably going to think this is a hot take then because I think I already got my division winner, and it's early.
You gonna go?
I'm going with Vegas. I think Vegas is going to run roughshod through these defenses. It'll be a close division.
Yeah,
but I think Vegas has a good chance of winning this division and possibly going deep into the playoffs. I don't think they're a Super Bowl caliber team yet. I just think that they're up there in the division. Now, my sleeper team is the Denver Broncos. I think so. What I mean by sleeper is we don't know what they're going to do because it's just so outlandish. It's so unorthodox.
You got a whole new quarterback.
You got a whole new system. You got a whole new quarterback. I mean, Denver is in.
If they can just stay healthy,
that's the thing.
He's got better and better the more he's played.
Yeah, they just got to stay healthy and. Yeah, they just got to stay healthy, but they have a good chance of beating the Chiefs this year, especially after that close game last season with Drew Lock. I mean, that was a scary moment for the Chiefs last season, but I just don't see the Chiefs winning this division because they have lost a lot on offense. They've lost a lot on defense. They haven't really bumped up their defense from what I saw in the draft. Like we were sitting in the live chat in the first round. I mean, we were just kind of disappointed in the Chiefs in the first round.
Yeah, I don't think they moved any kind of like kind of point system on that regards as far as their defense goes and their offense. I feel like they took a step down as far as a roster standpoint.
Yeah, for sure.
And you really don't know what you're going to get out of Smith-Schuster.
And they're saying that their wide receiver one is Valdez Scantling,
which is crazy to say. I mean, he has had some really good games.
Yeah,
he's really a one-trick pony,
Yeah, but my dark horse to compete my division winner that could possibly win the division is the Chargers.
Yeah.
They built that defense up, and that offense is pretty good as it is. So I have a feeling that the Chargers are not quite there yet, but they'll be there to compete, just like last season against the Raiders. So expect a close division that round. But
all right. Well, I mean, I'm going to go ahead and say, mine, I think that the Chargers are going to win. I think I'm a little bit higher on them. I think they did all they needed to do. Khalil Mack has had some slower seasons, still really good. I think he's going to have a bounce back year.
Right.
And you got Derwin James, you got good secondary. It's like, I just think their defense is going to be just a step ahead of the Raiders. But I think the Raiders are going to have really good games as far as making plays and whatnot on that side of the football. Broncos, yeah. If I would pick a team that would still kind of just somehow make it all work out, I would pick the Chiefs just because, Andy Reid and just all that team together.
Yeah, just a veteran bunch. I mean, it's hard.
But looking on paper, I think Chiefs are. You could argue that they're the worst on this list.
Yeah.
But just from what they had altogether and the players that they have and what they've accomplished before that,
yeah,
they're destined to have a better year. Like Patrick Mahomes had a decent year, not a great year, but a pretty good year still.
Yeah.
I think he's going to bounce back. So I would say, yeah, that would be my two teams right there. And the Raiders, yeah, they're exciting, definitely.
Yeah, they're gonna make Vegas happy for sure with the Adams and Carr connection. Mm-hmm. The Fresno State connection is what I like to call them.
I will say that out of all these teams, I think it's impossible to have all these teams have a winning record. But I think,
especially in division,
I will say 3 of these teams are going to have a winning record, and the other one's going to have maybe just 2 from 500.
Yeah, I could definitely see that, and it could be anybody in that division. That's a winner. That's a winner.
I think it's going to go back and forth. I think no team's going to win more than 11 games.
Yeah, so
I think the best record you'll see on that is 11-6. But you think it'd be more?
But yeah,
these teams are going to be playing each other like back to back. You know, they're going to be playing each other. So
yeah, and
with that said, it's just going to. I feel like they're going to be going back and forth. There's not going to be no clear cut winner.
Yeah, and you got to think about it too. Home field advantage takes a part in the AFC West. A lot of people don't realize that.
Oh yeah.
Arrowhead Stadium is the loudest stadium in the NFL, but you got Vegas, who just got a new stadium a couple years back. Los Angeles, they got a brand new stadium. Mm-hmm. Denver, Mile High. You know, they're up there in the mountains, so the players that aren't used to it, they have trouble breathing up there. I think that division is going to be the one to watch this year.
Oh yes.
So,
want to go on to let's go ahead and go on to AFC East.
Perfect.
All right, go ahead, man.
So, I think it's going to be a easier pick for our division winners. Mm-hmm. I definitely got the Buffalo Bills winning. I think they got stronger this season, and they are really looking at that loss against the Chiefs as we got screwed. Think about it this way. They were Bret Hart. Kansas City was Shawn Michaels. The Montreal screw job, right? For my wrestling fans out there. But I think the Buffalo Bills is the favorite to win the Super Bowl this year for the AFC side.
Okay.
I'm not saying anything about my Super Bowl favorites just yet.
All right.
But my sleeper team, the team to watch out for is the Jets. They had a terrific draft this year. They helped out Zach Wilson with getting his.
And going back to also just to add a note on that, going back to Zach Wilson.
Yeah.
You actually going back and looking at film and stuff.
Did you see his recent picks? He has gotten big.
Oh, a lot of the quarterbacks have changed up their
routine.
Justin Herbert's got a lot more mass to him as well.
Yeah.
I guess they're getting
Lamar too.
They're getting built for the quarterback, more running type.
Yeah.
Take on the hits. So that's very smart.
Yeah.
So like 3 or 4 of these quarterbacks, they're seeing what the NFL is going to, and it's more of a mobile style quarterback.
And also, Zach Wilson likes to go after everybody's moms apparently. So watch out if you're going to a Jets game, little Timmy, because he's not going to sign your autograph. He's just going to take your mom to the hotel and get some autographs, if you know what I mean. But beside all that, I think that the Jets really put work into this offseason.
Yeah.
Great, not just great draft, great offseason. You know, they had a tremendous offseason. I think it's one of the best off seasons I've ever seen as far as like a team that has been knocked down from the butt fumble, and you know, it's just been bad luck. Laughing stock of the AFC East
for years.
Yeah. So my overrated team, I'm adding this one because a lot of people are hyping this team up when really they didn't really make a whole lot of difference. Other than bringing in a superstar. I'm going with the Miami Dolphins with the overrated. Do I think they'll be better? A little bit, but
is it winning season?
No, because one player is not going to change a team.
Dude.
One player will not change a team.
I don't even think they're going to be better than the Patriots. And that might be a hot take. But
I don't. Quite honest. I don't disagree. I think the Patriots will be second in the division. I think the Jets are going to beat the Dolphins. That's how serious I think how overrated they are to me.
Exactly. So I'm going to go ahead and say, yeah, exactly. I'm going to go with Buffalo Bills. They're going to win this division.
Yeah.
I don't really see the Dolphins. I don't believe in the hype.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you said, they're going to get better. I think they're going to add 3-4 wins to what they had last year, which I think it was. Oh, I ain't going to say any numbers. It's been a minute since I've looked at numbers from last year.
Yeah.
But all I got to say is the Bills are going to take this division pretty easily.
Single-handedly, just knock pillars down.
They added so much depth to the running back
position, to the here's the thing.
Wide receiver position.
It's not disrespect to the Jets defense. I think, or not the Jets defense, the Patriots defense. I think their defense got a little bit better this season as well.
Right.
So they might be the best defense going into this division. But you also got to account for Von Miller over at Buffalo. That's a big plus for Buffalo.
So just having that program, the Patriots, have their team with.
Yeah.
You never really know what to expect. Some people, you always go and look into the roster and be like, well, they shouldn't win these many games. They shouldn't do as good. But they always tend to beat the, odds.
Yeah.
No matter if Tom Brady's there, no matter if Bill Belichick. It's just like their culture and everything like that. They're able to come together, and players are able to play their best and their best role. And also, players are able to play better than people expected, even what they expected to play.
And here's the thing, too. Like, people were debating who helped the Patriots win all those Super Bowls, Bill Belichick or Tom Brady. It was a mixture of both. I hate to say this to all the Patriots fans that are divided about this, but it was a mixture of both. Like, Tom Brady was a player, Bill Belichick was an orchestrator, but Mike McDaniels, he is a big part of this dynasty. Mm-hmm. Believe it or not, folks, Mike McDaniels was a big part of this dynasty as the offensive coordinator for the New England Patriots.
Right.
There were times where Brady and McDaniels disagreed, but they won games. They won championships. They won AFC championships. They won division titles with that man. So you got to give where credit's due for.
And that's exactly what we're going to go with right here. I'm going to say the Patriots are going to be my dark horse team. They're going to be a team.
Yeah.
I think if there was going to be a team that may not be the team on paper
as
far as looking at it right in the beginning, I think they're going to overexceed. I think they'll have a possible winning season. Depends on if they just stay healthy and they just kind of like everybody plays a role and does what they're supposed to do.
Yeah.
I think the Jets got better. I still think that they have maybe a year more to see about all the players coming together. They're still young.
Yeah.
And then, I think the Dolphins.
Way overhyped.
Yeah, I think they're going to be better than the Jets. I just don't see them as like a playoff team or anything like that.
I mean, I could see that. I mean, it's going to be a battle between the Jets and the Dolphins for sure.
I can see the Patriots above 2 games on them, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no kidding. I see the Patriots up 4 against the Dolphins. I mean, that's the way I see it. I mean, call me stupid, Dolphins fans, but it's the way I see it. And
on to the next one.
The AFC North.
AFC North, here we are.
Another tough division to talk about. Lamar coming back to the Ravens. You got Kenny Pickett, who's probably going to be the starter over Mitch Trubisky, which is pretty sad because Trubisky had a pretty good start with the Bears and then just fell out.
He's had a good offseason as far as the go, too.
He's had a really good offseason, so that's why I say probably Kenny Pickett will be the starter because
we know what Mitch Trubisky is.
We've seen him.
He's not a long-term guy. He's not even a guy you want to probably run your whole season with either.
But let's talk before we get to anything. Let's talk about the mess in Cleveland. What the hell is going on with Cleveland? You're the Cleveland expert here. So
I'm a fan. I wouldn't say I'm an expert,
but man, I gotta say, from getting Deshaun Watson to the court cases to saying no, we're not going to trade Baker, it's like they're going through menopause right now. I mean, what is going on with Cleveland right now? The possible starter now is Jacoby Brissett, which we've seen him play before. He's decent, but will he bring the caliber of style that Baker did?
He doesn't have the ability.
He doesn't.
He just doesn't. I mean, he's going to be safe. He's going to run the offense to a T, but he's not going to make any plays.
No, and that's the thing. He spent years behind Brady. He spent years behind Luck. I mean, those guys.
He got his opportunity when Luck went down. So
yeah,
and he played decent.
He did play decent, but it just wasn't enough.
He is a backup in this league.
Yeah,
a great backup.
Yeah.
I mean, if someone falls down in the second quarter, third quarter,
yeah,
and you're up by a touchdown, he's going to keep that. He's going to keep that lead. And maybe you add a couple points to it.
Yeah.
But I don't expect him to go in and say beat the Chiefs or beat the the Rams. You know what I'm talking about? So
yeah, I mean, here's the thing too. Like, we don't even know if Deshaun's going to even get to play this season. They're still talking about the suspension. It went from a year to 6 to 8 games. They still don't know with these court cases. He got 20 out of 24 filed already. Like, they're done. They're closed. So this is some serious, you know what? And Cleveland's in a heap of trouble. Their defense isn't. Their defense is. It's the offense that Cleveland has to worry about. And you know the old saying, Cleveland is where QB's careers die. So
that's what it looks like for the most part.
That's the perception that.
RG3, Jason Campbell. I mean, there's plenty.
Josh McCown.
Jake Delhomme went over there.
Colt McCoy. Yeah. I mean, Colt McCoy's still a backup in the league.
Now, granted, these teams weren't good teams. They didn't have good surrounding core. The last 3 to 4 seasons with the Browns, they've had a pretty good surrounding core.
Yeah.
To looking on the paper. But they always have issues with injuries. They always have issues with on the field, off the field type of issues. It's almost like this team just needs a relocation. They need to re-up jerseys. They need to change the whole scenery because they are literally in a black hole. And they had a good playoff run when they beat, Big Ben and whatever. But, I mean, come on.
And part of that was Baker's playmaking ability when he wasn't injured too. So you're really losing the Baker battle.
This is a big year. Big year for Baker, for sure.
For sure.
And if it doesn't pan out, then he may just be a backup.
Yeah.
If he doesn't pan out.
We'll get to that later, but let's talk about the division leaders. For me, I think it's going to be more competitive this year. Lamar was injured last season. Big Ben was retiring, so we already know that he wasn't Big Ben anymore. He was just Ben Roethlisberger. Baker was injured, so the only quarterback that was able to make things right was Joe Burrow and the Bengals. And I think Cincinnati's going to be back up top in this division. It's going to be a gauntlet, believe me, because we do love some AFC North football. We may not like the teams, but we love watching them play.
Yeah.
But Cincinnati, I think, is the most complete team as far as a complete team in the AFC North, but not discrediting the Baltimore Ravens at all, but when they got rid of Marquise Brown, Hollywood Brown to the Cardinals, that made me think I have no choice but to pick Cincinnati Bengals on this one. And they got better on defense. I think they got a corner in this offseason. I didn't really pay attention to that, but we'll do better next year. We'll do better. So my sleeper team is the Baltimore Ravens. I think they are coming back with the vengeance.
Yeah.
They're going to be more run heavy because they don't necessarily have the wideouts to be balanced. So I think they're going to give the ball to J.K. Dobbins.
Last year,
yeah. Lamar and J.K. Dobbins are going to have a big year running the ball. I think they're going to split 1,000 this year. They're gonna both have 1,000 yards this season.
Yeah, I was like, split 1,000.
Yeah, no, more like split 2 or maybe.
Lamar be getting 1,000 by himself easily.
Yeah, easily. But yeah, they'll each have 1,000. Lamar may get to 1,500 if he's healthy. But by the end of the year, J.K. Dobbins as well. I mean, I've seen J.K. Dobbins play in high school, and he was a freak.
Mm-hmm.
I went and watched him play over in San Marcos, and he was playing for a school called LaGrange, and he was playing my alma mater, Ingleside High School. Shout out to the Mustangs. But, man, he ran through all of them. I want to talk about like 300 rushing yards in that game.
Wow.
About 400 total. That's like return yards, that's receiving all together. But he absolutely torched them on the ground. But I think this team is close to what Cincinnati is. But they're my sleeper and dark horse. I don't know what's going to happen with Pittsburgh, if Trubisky's going to start week 1, or they're going to give Kenny Pickett give him the starting job week 1, and we'll make our changes mid-season. So we'll see who's going to be there in the AFC North. We'll keep our eyes peeled on those.
Right.
But definitely Cleveland's a mess right now. But if Deshaun Watson is able to come back early, might have to change up our standings, because Deshaun Watson to me is still a top 5 quarterback for sure. Mm-hmm. And anybody can agree with me on the live, and so.
Well, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and go with the Bengals as the winner here too. I think they're just going to be. I think they're the most focused team.
Yeah.
I don't think they're the most skillful team. I just think they have. Everybody's just doing what they're supposed to do. They have the skill. On paper, I don't think they're the best team. I think they're like maybe second. I think the Browns on paper they would be the best team if Deshaun Watson's there.
Yeah, for sure. I agree.
So I'm going to go with Bengals as my, my winner of the division. And I think it's going to be close. I think it's going to be a fight. I mean, the Steelers, I still don't think. I think they're going to be I think they might win like 3 games. Honestly, I'm just being honest. I think Kenny Pickett, after like the first game or game 2, I think he'll come in there. I think Trubisky's going to start for the first game.
Yeah, because he has that veteran.
And if he does decent, I think he might play like half the season.
Yeah.
Just because Kenny Pickett, I think he's going to be a better quarterback. I think he has better upside, but we got that with Trubisky too when he came out. So.
And people are critiquing Kenny Pickett because of his small hands. Yeah, so
that is a thing.
That is a thing, though. But we've seen some Hall of Fame quarterbacks with small hands too. So,
yeah. So I'm a Browns fan, so I'm gonna go with Browns as the sleeper. Just because not only that, I just think if everything does click, they will be scary. I think because
they need to run them.
Not really much receivers there. Peoples-Jones.
Amari Cooper is there as well. So that's
Amari Cooper. That's right.
So that's a big factor, folks.
I, for some reason, keep forgetting about Amari Cooper.
Yeah,
I think if everything clicks, I think they're the best team on paper.
Yeah.
And I think they have a shot of being the best team as far as season-wise. But I still think if playoffs come around, I think they're going to have some bad luck. And that's if everything goes right with Deshaun Watson and the team not having injuries. I still think the Bengals will come out on top.
Yeah.
That's all I got for this division.
So the last division is the AFC South. Now, this is an interesting division right here. Texans got a good draft. Colts got Matty Ice.
And Nick Foles.
And Stephon Gilmore. So they just got a little bit better.
Yeah.
The Jaguars, they're starting to look like a better team. What happened to the Titans?
They got Robert Woods.
They lost.
How he's going to be. It might be just a downhill slope at this point.
Yeah. So here's the thing with Tennessee. They lost A.J. Brown to the Philadelphia Eagles in the draft, so they could just pick up Traylon Burks, which I thought he was going to be a Cowboy, but I'm glad he's not a Cowboy because of the fact that
negative reports.
I mean, bombshell in the rookie OTAs. Like, if you have a bad report in the rookie OTAs, there's something wrong with you. Like, he was a good college receiver.
Mm-hmm.
I saw him play against A&M, and he torched them. I saw him play against Alabama, torched them. And we're talking about Bama, torched them. So, what happened, like, from playing college football to getting drafted? Did it just go to his head that, oh, I'm going to be a first rounder anyway? So,
I mean, he's built like
it.
225. So.
But I just don't get it with how that transpired. And then
it's a totally different game. I mean,
and then you got Ryan Tannehill at quarterback, who was a receiver going into
he
A&M.
revamped his career when he was in
Yeah.
the Titans. But even then, when Derrick Henry went down, he didn't look very good.
Yeah,
It was more pass.
and they also lost Deontay Foreman, who's now with the Panthers with Baker Mayfield. So let's go ahead and talk about our division winner, because this is going to be an interesting topic right here. You and I might have disagrees or an agreement on this one.
This is all say that this is the worst AFC division right here.
Oh, absolutely.
Not even close.
Not even close. Like,
but yeah, go ahead.
Even the Cleveland Browns can run roughshod with Jacoby Brissett in this division. But I got the Indianapolis Colts winning. I just think they're more focused. They're more prepared.
Best program.
They had the best
coaching
staff there. My dark horse, my sleeper team. You're gonna be surprised. I got the Jacksonville Jaguars on this one. I got Duval County.
I'm surprised you said Texans.
Yeah, they're not ready.
Long shot.
They're way long shot.
I don't think Davis Mills. I mean, yeah, he was okay last season. He was like he better than
Yeah, he's better than what he was drafted.
Average, college career.
Yeah.
Like what? How does he get a chance to start with the Texans? Texans are just like, let's just throw whatever we got out there.
Yeah, we got nothing to lose.
Some did, and Jason Mills, they're like, well, he might be our guy.
Davis Mills is their guy so far, so we'll just have to see when he plays a full season. But with Jacksonville, they really thought about their offseason this year, and I'm happy for my Duval fans, my Duval County fans. I wish I could say Duval really loud right now, but we're here at Caleb's house, and he's got his baby here, so we're trying to be as quiet as possible. But back to the Jags being my sleeper and dark horse team.
Trevor Lawrence,
I think
turned around, right?
He's
a great prospect.
Yeah, so
AJ Luck, Andrew Luck, prospect.
So here's my thing with Trevor Lawrence. Travis Etienne's coming back, and they're starting to put him as a slot, more utility back. And you got James Robinson right there.
Mm-hmm.
And you just got Christian Kirk, who's now...
Lawrence can run.
Yeah, Lawrence has legs.
He didn't run much last year.
But
he can run.
I think he's going to open his eyes a little bit more. He's going to go back to himself.
With him.
He's going to go back to his Clemson self. He's going to have confidence again. I think that Christian Kirk's going to help him out with that, even though we think that Christian Kirk doesn't deserve to be that number one receiver.
Yeah.
But I think Christian Kirk can help with his speed that he's got for the Jaguars' offense is built for speed.
Yeah, and Trevor Lawrence he had pretty bad numbers.
Yeah.
He didn't have, if you go back and watch film, it wasn't that bad, and it wasn't all his fault.
No.
Some of the wide receivers and him weren't on the same page. They weren't running very good routes.
Yeah.
So, Kirk, he's a good route runner. So there you go.
Yeah.
Kirk, they paid him a lot more than people thought he should have been paid.
Yeah.
But who knows? He might really fit the system.
He might shock the entire NFL universe.
Yards. Might be his best year.
Yeah. So I got them as my dark horse, and their defense got a little bit better.
Oh yeah.
They did get a Georgia Bulldog in the draft this year.
Yeah, that for sure.
Yeah.
So you got people that can rotate.
Yeah.
And all kind of play together. If they can kind of form a good culture there.
Yeah.
They may be pretty good.
Overrated, Tennessee.
Overrated?
Even though there's no overrated teams in the AFC South, I just had to throw in Tennessee because
we've seen this with running backs.
Yeah,
they get overworked. This is mostly before like 2011.
Yeah,
Larry Johnson. All these running backs that are getting
Jerome Bettis.
All these running backs that are getting plus 350 carries. They have great years. Well, mainly because they get so many carries and touches. But not only that, they did a really good job running the ball and whatnot, and they had good yards per carry.
Yeah,
Derrick Henry, he got overworked. He came back the next year. He got injured. We see this time after time with running backs. Can he come back and can he be the Derrick Henry that we know he is? Because he only averaged 4.3 yards carry, which is decent. This is before he got injured.
Yeah.
So he wasn't even like – he was good, but he wasn't like great Derrick Henry, right?
Yeah.
He had a couple good games, but he wasn't like after game after game after game. You could literally – excuse me.
Good.
You can give the ball to him, and he would do all he could do,
Yeah. And another thing with Derrick Henry – Derrick Henry, he was my fantasy running back. When he went down, I went down on a losing streak until I picked up a couple running backs named A.J. Dillon.
That's the thing, what I'm afraid of. They're going to pound him in the dirt, and this is going to be his last year where he actually was a good running back.
Yeah. And
because they don't have –
it's similar –
the passing game got worse.
Yeah, it's kind of similar to Jerome Bettis, but Bettis really never got injured.
Robert Woods is being forced to be number one.
Yeah.
For most of his career, he was playing number two.
Yeah.
And he's a damn good number two.
Number 2 or 3, really.
So like, him being number one, I think he's going to take a step back. Traylon Burks, where the heck is he at? What is he doing? Is he going to make it? And they don't have – and if Derrick Henry – there's just so much pressure on him. Mike
Vrabel's going to have to put the pads back on, and you remember when Brady
– Nope. Okay. So yeah, the team that's going to win this division, it's going to be the Colts. The best coach, the best coaching and culture. Okay.
I like that you put culture there.
Yeah, coaching and culture. They have the best there.
Pat McAfee would
actually plays.
So Pat McAfee would appreciate that.
Yeah. So and there's just that, and then they have arguably the best running back. He had the best year last year. You could argue he is the best running back now. It was one season. Let's see what he can do this season.
Yeah.
Why not be great? Like, he started off coming into the league kind of slow, still was having some of them fumble issues. He cleaned it up last year, and the dude was figuring out the holes and running where he needed to go. Some of these running backs, like now Saquon Barkley, for instance, he's been having trouble with like ball carry vision and staying healthy, right?
Yeah.
Well, the injury part. Well, you really can't. A lot of times we see with these running backs and just players in general, when there's injury problems, they just tend to keep happening.
Right.
Now, ball carry vision, kind of the same deal.
Yeah.
When you see there's an issue there, teams start to figure it out. They know what you're going to do. They're going to pop it out.
Right.
That doesn't really clean up itself either. That's why Saquon hasn't been putting up the numbers like he normally did in his first 2 years.
Exactly.
Jonathan. What's this guy's name?
Jonathan Taylor.
Thank you. I get him confused. I've been playing a lot of Maddens and all these Jonathans.
So I have a buddy down in Ingleside, Texas. Shout out to Jalen Gross. He's a big-time Colts fan.
Yeah.
He would be angry if he saw this.
Well, yeah, but anyway.
He's going to watch it anyway.
Jonathan Taylor's figured it out.
Yeah.
He was always like the best physical,
I don't get it. It's like those
power.
So it's the Big Ten running backs. It's the Wisconsin running backs. Melvin Gordon,
Great physical stats.
Yeah.
He struggled with injuries and he struggled with some fumbles here and there.
Yeah, what the hell? How come Wisconsin?
When they run the ball, they're breaking tackles.
Yeah.
They're fast. I don't know what it is either. The Wisconsin, the Nebraska.
It's the Wisconsin cheese. I'm telling you, it's that Madison, Wisconsin cheese that they put in.
Right.
I don't.
So Colts win the division. I don't think it's going to be close. Not even. I think the Titans are going to only win maybe 5 games.
Wow.
Just being honest, I think Texans only going to win maybe 3 or 4. And I think I think Jaguars are going to be my dark horse. I think they're going to win 6.
I think they're going to win 8 games. Jacksonville. I think Tennessee's.
It'll just be an ugly division in my opinion. But that's all I got.
So for you,
this division's trash.
So for you would say this division's pretty much lopsided. like the most lopsided we'll ever see a division this season, as far as going into the season, right?
Yeah, I would say that over. I would even say that over the division we just covered, which was the what was it? No, AFC East. Yeah, I think it's even worse than that.
There might be a different division you might want to talk about.
We'll go to the NFC East now, which people like to say NFC least.
All right,
I think it's no longer going to be the standard this year.
Well, this year is going to be the start of what the NFC's been trying to do. Well, what the AFC West is now. I think the NFC East is on the brink of making that into the best division. So is the NFC South now, and also the there's a lot of movements that have happened in the NFC North, so that's going to be a little bit more competitive. The NFC West, we don't know what's going to happen. I think we'll talk about the West later, so that'll be our
East. Who you got winning this one?
Well, I don't think the Eagles are going to win it. I got the Cowboys winning it.
I think the Eagles are I would say they're most improved.
Very most improved, and I'll explain my reason here in a little bit. But let's talk about the Cowboys first. The Cowboys, yeah, they lost Amari Cooper, but
I don't like his attitude.
Yeah, but here's the thing: we just picked up a really good offensive line. I wasn't happy about it. You could see it. Go back into the live. I wasn't happy about Tyler Smith going into the Cowboys because I didn't really necessarily think we needed offensive linemen. At the time, but then I started watching.
We needed a fullback. That's what we needed.
Yeah. Zeke,
I'm just kidding.
You're getting demoted, but
fullbacks are dead.
But anyway, back to we got Jalen Tolbert from South Alabama. That kid has some feist. He's got some feistiness that I like. But
this is giving me vibes of when I got Terry Glenn.
Yeah.
Even though Terry Glenn he was for the Patriots.
Yeah.
Before he came to us.
Yeah, but I think like a Terry Glenn. But I think Tyler Smith now, after looking at his film, he's a bully in that line. So I think he's going to push some cats around in that NFC East, which we need that. We actually need that for Zeke and Tony Pollard. And I think this is my thinking as a Dallas Cowboys fan. I think the Cowboys should have Pollard and Zeke splitting carries 50-50.
Yeah, I still think it's not split. I still think it 60-70 go to Zeke.
Yeah.
And it should be 50-50 according to his production.
Yeah, I mean,
let's see if they can figure out Tony Pollard by giving him half the carries. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Every time he's been on the
give him an opportunity.
Every time he's literally stealing snaps.
And they're kind of using him as what Jacksonville's using Travis Etienne right now.
Yeah, just last year he was showing that he could break tackles.
Yeah.
The year before that he was, he broke tackles here and there, but he's more of I'm going to run around you kind of deal. He's a good receiver back. But that last year, he was showing that he could play as that overall starting running back.
Yeah, and that's my thing with Dallas too. Like Zeke hasn't been producing from what his $90 million contract has said that he could do. Horrible deal. Almost lost Dak in the process, but then gave him a
Zeke's going on. He was good running back at the time. Now he's just more of an average running back. Let's just be honest. He's more
top 15 at best.
Now, granted, he could get back to where he was, but as a running back, you don't see that. You see a peak, and once you start seeing that drop, very, very few times you see running start to go back to where they were.
There's a distinct difference between, and there's going to be a lot of Cowboys fans that love Zeke that's going to hate me.
So you got Cowboys winning this division?
I do, but it's not going to be lopsided like some people think, or some people think this team is going to be after I make my point real quick. The difference between Zeke and Emmitt Smith, Emmitt Smith had the Great Wall of Dallas, but he showed after the Great Wall of Dallas. He was able to still make them yards. I mean, he's still
Great
the
running back to just keep pushing.
he's still the rushing leader in career rushing yards.
I like to say Emmitt Smith is like the best
overall.
He's the best like running back when it comes to not really flash, but when it comes to I think Frank Gore is similar to him, but Emmitt Smith is the best version of that.
Yeah, you know I agree. Like
Emmitt Smith, just from production and just from just bringing the ball well and being able to just keep pushing and get those yards and hardly have any negative runs, makes him top 10 running back.
Oh, absolutely. And so,
got a little problem here.
Oh, we're good.
There it is.
Sort of. Yeah,
there it
is. There it is.
Sorry, guys.
No worries, guys.
So, who do you got as your sleeper then?
So
it's gonna be close. So it's
gonna be a close one. I think the sleeper team got better through trades, through free agent signings, and draft picks. I mean, they did get a Georgia Bulldog at linebacker. And I'm saying Georgia Bulldog because they're the recent national champions because of that defense.
Yeah.
So I got the Philadelphia Eagles as the sleeper and dark horse in this division. I think they had a great offseason. They had a terrific draft, let alone they probably had the best draft out of anybody in this division. That's going from 1 through 7. So best offseason has to go to Philadelphia in this division. But I'm not going to discredit the Giants. As much as I would love to see them fail, as much as I would love to see the Commanders fail or the Eagles fail, the Giants had a pretty good draft this season, and they're trying to pick back up to once they were. Can I stop hitting my mic? But I think the Eagles are going to be a tough team to beat this year. It's not going to be like last season where it was no competition for the Cowboys in the NFC East. And that's a lot of where all that criticism, the NFC least, came from. Because once it came down to facing like the 49ers, who had a well-rounded, skillful team with Deebo Samuel.
Right.
Or a team like the Raiders, who had a more balanced team. I mean, Dallas is going to have a tough time facing Philadelphia. I think Jalen Hurts is going to have a big year this season. Miles Sanders, too. Don't forget about Miles Sanders.
So your sleeper was the Eagles?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
cool.
The team that I think is going to be last, though, it's tough for Washington and the Giants because Washington, they just picked up Carson Wentz. But I don't think he's going to do that well over there. No. I mean, they got who did they get?
It doesn't pan out. They still got Heineke.
Oh, yeah. Heineke's the true hero in Washington.
He's been decent, bro.
Yeah.
They don't buy into him. There's something that they don't like about him. Now, he has had some decent games and has had some good games.
Yeah. But
I mean, it's safe to say I hate to even say this, but I really think that Dallas Cowboys took a step back this year.
Oh, definitely.
Their roster, they lost Gregory, they lost Mari Cooper, I think he can be replaced. I think Michael Gallup is just getting better.
Yeah, Michael Gallup
should have his best year and be known as a top 10 wide receiver. I still don't think he's getting the respect that he should be getting.
Absolutely.
But then Tony Pollard, I think Tony Pollard is going to be it. He's going to be the starter. They're going to push.
Ooh.
Zeke's going to be pushed out. He may even get traded, I think.
I
think he'll get traded either this year or maybe next year. I know he's got
That's an interesting take.
And the thing is, who's going to take that deal? Just bring him over to Houston. You know what I'm saying? That's a hard take. I think that might actually happen. So I'm going to say that the Eagles are going to win this division. I hate to say it because I'm a big Cowboys fan. I think it's going to be close though. I think the Cowboys will have a winning record at around like 9-8 or 10-7.
Yeah.
But I think the Eagles are going to pull away just by one game over them. And my sleeper,
just like the McNabb days.
I can't really say the Cowboys are going to be my sleeper because I think they're just so close to the Eagles. I think my sleeper would be the Commanders. I think bringing this new team name, you got Carson Wentz. I think he could revamp his career here. You got good wide receivers around him. They bring in that rookie. Don't remember his name. Sorry, guys. And then you got McLaurin, top 10 wide receiver, proved it. Antonio Gibson, shown that he's a good guy. He's good. Their defense, they drafted for defense as well. So I think they could be a sleeper for me. But that's what I got for this division.
So that concludes the NFC East. Now, NFC North, where the oldest teams in football reside. The Chicago Bears, the Green Bay Packers, the Minnesota Vikings, and the Motor City Dan Campbell Hungry Lions.
Let me get a drink real quick. 1 second, guys. Keep going.
But let me give my take real quick. So I'm going to go ahead and start off with the Green Bay's on a struggle this season. They've gotten some good words from Aaron Rodgers himself that Christian Wilkinson, who was drafted in the 2nd or 3rd round, I can't really remember, but he's getting a lot of looks. He's working with the Wands right now. He's actually doing pretty good for himself. They drafted defense. They kind of needed the defensive spot, but they really needed to replace Devontae Adams. But they could have traded up to get Chris Olave. They could have traded to go get Garrett Wilson, but they didn't. I guess they're confident with the Christian Wilkinson out of North Dakota State, but I still think that they're going to take the division. I think this division is a little weaker than what most people think. I think the Vikings are going to have a bounce back year, but I just don't see them winning the division this season. I think that run a bit, Aaron Rodgers. I'm talking about the Packers being my division winners.
Cool.
So my thing is, they got a good look with Christian Wilkinson, who just got drafted by the Packers this past season, or this season, or going into this season. Aaron Rodgers himself said that he's doing pretty well for himself. But so for Green Bay, their defense is going to be their strongest point because who else is out there for Aaron Rodgers to throw to, you know?
Yeah. So
he's kind of throwing at Casper at this point. So do you rely on the run if you're the Packers? Because you got A.J. Dillon and
just play. I think it sounds crazy, but I think I think for the 3 downs, you go run.
Yeah.
You go, well, not run, but you go out of those 3 downs. I think you go 2 runs, 1 pass. Just kill him on the play action. Aaron Rodgers is great on the play action. You can go back and forth. You can go A.J. Dillon a carry for your first down, or you can go Aaron Jones. Don't matter. Or you can start with a pass and then finish with 2 runs, depending on how it all works. But I think you can keep the defense on their feet because Aaron Rodgers can put the ball anywhere. So yeah, I think you're relying on the run here.
I think with that too, it just depends on who you're playing against too. Say like the Minnesota Vikings, pound the rock, pass, and then you play the Bears, play action pass, run, play action pass, run. You know, so
all right.
I'm not going to say too much about Green Bay because
we know
we know about their reputation.
Yeah, they didn't change much. Either.
No,
other than losing some wide receivers. So.
Yeah, and they
got Sammy Watkins, but
Sammy Watkins too.
He's pretty washed, dude.
But they also got a young man, Christian Wilkinson, out of North Dakota State. He's probably going to have a good rookie season under
Aaron Rodgers. Makes people look better than what they are.
Yeah,
I mean,
for
he's
sure.
worked with freaking Geronimo Allison. Where is he? Yeah.
Yeah.
He worked with. They still got Allen Lazard, but still, he was not supposed to be that great. He turned out to be an average receiver when he started working with Aaron Rodgers. So.
Yeah. No kidding. So that's baby Kaleb, folks. But my dark horse and sleeper team, I got the Minnesota Vikings. I think Dalvin Cook's gonna be cooking up a really, no pun intended, by the way.
Good Vikings too.
He is gonna have a tremendous year. I think he might be a top 5 running back going into this season. I think him and Jonathan Taylor, they're going to be battling it out for that top spot for rushing leader.
I ain't gonna lie, I disagree.
And we'll get to that here in a little bit, but I think Justin Jefferson's going to have a good year. I think that Kirk Cousins might have a pretty decent year. I mean, we all know and love Kirk Cousins on certain days, but I think Justin Jefferson's going to have a really good year. I mean,
I don't like how you went with this route, man. I ain't gonna lie. I think you went a little the safe side. We know what the Vikings do. They always choke.
Oh.
They're gonna have a good running back. Good year. They're gonna have a good wide receiver.
But you forgot one thing.
Kirk Cousins is gonna do what he does.
You forgot one thing. They got the best defense in the NFC North. They had the best run defense in the NFC North. Tell me if I'm wrong or right on that one.
Maybe. But still, I think Dan Campbell's going to get these Detroit Lions together. They're going to be my sleeper.
Whoa, we got some love for the.
And the Packers, I think they're going to win the division, but I think it's going to be close.
Yeah.
I think the Bears are still kind of figuring out what's going on over there.
They're confused.
Justin Fields are going to have a pretty good. I think he's going to have a pretty decent year.
Yeah, I think Justin Fields is going to have a good year.
Question mark after this year just because he's don't have that great of a surrounding core.
Yeah.
Then they got N'Keal Harry.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, we know he if you can't turn things around with Patriots, then you ain't doing shit. You know what I'm saying? You ain't gonna do anything probably. Come on.
Yeah.
So that's all I got for this one. I mean, the Packers. I think it's gonna be close.
There's not much said about this division.
Packers gonna win maybe 10 games. I think Detroit Lions are gonna be a big sleeper, dude.
Yeah.
Decent defense. I think Swift's gonna do. I think he's got a pretty good.
They had a tremendous draft.
I love St. Brown.
Yeah, I'm on St. Brown. Is a good.
I think Jared Goff is gonna show that this might be his best year. I'm just gonna go out and say it.
Wow, over his 1 year with the Rams, the 1 year.
Yeah, I think he'll have a good year this year. But I don't think it's gonna be. I think he's gonna have a lot of yards. I think they're gonna be a better passing offense than what we expect.
Yeah.
But I still think he's gonna still struggle with some interceptions here and there.
Well, that's Jared Goff too. He was like that over in Cal too. So.
Right. But that's all I got for this division, dude.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not disagreeing with the Lions pick at all. I mean, it was kind of.
Yeah, I just think he played it safe, dude.
I mean, I was kind of deciding.
I love Dan Campbell.
I do too.
Biting kneecaps. Cowboys, man. Back in the day for like a couple seasons.
Yeah, that man is biting non-kneecaps.
The best run blocking tight ends.
Yeah, and
you should have just put him at fullback. I bet you had a better career.
Oh, yeah. For no doubt.
Let's just go on to the NFC South.
The NFC South is interesting. We thought that we had a clear-cut last place team until recent days where Baker Mayfield came in and said,
he's their savior.
He's their savior.
I mean, it don't work this year. Matt Rule's out.
Yeah, this is his last straw.
And they ain't really did much.
No, and I really think that Carolina.
I gotta say, there's gonna be a lot of changes. If they don't have a good season this year, there's gonna be a lot of changes. Matt Rule gone. Baker Mayfield gone. He's gonna be a backup somewhere. Christian McCaffrey, he could be gone.
Yeah, a lot of trades.
He could, if Christian McCaffrey comes back and he plays and he's just average.
Yeah.
From just all these injuries and whatnot, then I think he's not going to be a starter.
So, with Carolina, I mean, they have a really good opportunity right here with Baker. There's talent. There's really good talent. They have just as good as the offensive line. Probably better in the passing than they are run blocking.
Right.
But you got a veteran quarterback like Baker Mayfield who's clutch.
He's a team player. He's going to do what he has to do.
Yeah.
Even it puts him in bad situations at times. Try a little bit of hero ball at times. I mean, you got to go wide receivers.
But if you're Matt Rule, you're like sweating your ass off because you got pretty much you probably just bumped your offense up quite a little bit for this season, and possibly the defense too. They might have the weakest defense in this division, but that doesn't mean that the offense isn't going to score points this season. I think they're going to score a lot of points.
They got DJ Moore. They got Christian McCaffrey. Chuba Hubbard might be a big role to play.
Yeah, that's. I mean,
That's
I'm
it.
not as high on him as you are. He did have a pretty good season last year when he filled in for McCaffrey.
Yeah, and you know what made me realize that? Matt Rule was at Baylor when Chuba Hubbard was at Oklahoma State, so Matt Rule knows what Chuba Hubbard can do.
I think Chuba Hubbard is. I think he has.
It's the same situation with Zeke, or
That's
with
what I was saying. I think he kind of reminds me of Tony Pollard a little bit.
Yeah,
I think if he finds his way, he could be like a Tony Pollard.
Yeah, but here's the thing with Chuba Hubbard too. I mean,
Christian McCaffrey, he just gets injured. We all know he's good, especially when he comes back. He is very dangerous.
Right.
Like receiving, running, returns. It doesn't matter. He's just going to be all elite.
Right.
But once he goes down, and it kind of ruffles the offense up.
So you wanted them to win the division?
No.
Or was that your sleeper?
The winner though.
It's easy.
Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
The Bucks.
I don't think it's gonna be close. There's so many questions with the Saints. With Kamara, will he even play like next year with these?
That same situation, and also
he's a big part of that offense.
And also
their identity, honestly.
Yeah, but is OBJ going to sign with the Saints? Because there's rumors swarming around that he is going to sign, and they get Tyrann Mathieu, and they got Chris Olave and Michael
Winston. Before he got injured, he was playing probably his best football. There's a lot of question marks with this team. I'm going to play it safe. I'm going to say the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are going to win, and it's not going to be close.
Yeah.
But if they do, my sleeper is going to be the Saints over the Panthers. And
that's what I was going to say too. I think the Saints are going to be a little bit better than the Panthers, but I think we might have a three-way playoff team, or three playoff team, or three teams in the playoffs. You know what I mean?
That could
be. It's possible with this division, especially with all the movement that's been going around.
I don't know. I mean, let's just go on to the next one. NFC West. When you were saying 3 teams that's gonna make it, this is the division.
Yeah, this might be the division, honestly. Because this is most talent, but there's one team that shies away from that, and that's Seattle.
They're gonna have a tough time.
I'm sorry, Grandpa Jim, but your Seahawks are not going back to the playoffs.
What, are they going to win 2 games?
With Drew Lock at quarterback, Geno Smith.
They got Penny. And that one rookie running back. Oh, and they got Chris Carson. Don't forget about Chris Carson.
They're not even close to the playoffs.
They'll just run heavy, dude.
5-12.
What if Lock is like actually good?
And that's the question.
But the question has already been answered because he's had plenty of time to play.
Yeah,
and he looks like he don't know what he's doing out there, dude. He makes terrible decisions.
But I will give him this.
He's not even accurate.
I will give him this.
You can't fix accuracy, dude.
You can't fix accuracy.
You can fix the decision making, but you cannot fix accuracy.
You cannot.
It's proven in our PFF.
Yes.
Oh, sorry. No, I'm just kidding.
But he does have a lot of heart.
Yeah.
I will give him that. But
he's the worst version of Baker.
He is.
Like, seriously.
That's what I said when I first saw him play when he played for Missouri. He's like,
They're very similar players.
Very similar. And I was saying
Baker is, I think, way better. They're just very similar in their whole.
But I think this is more of a who's going to win between the Arizona and San Francisco matchup.
Geno? He actually played decent, man, when he got a chance last year. When Russell had injuries, he actually looked decent.
I think they're going to start with Geno. I think they are.
That'd be respect.
Yeah, that.
But they're not going.
It's Pete Carroll.
They traded for. There was a trade.
I know.
They're going to just have him just be a backup for.
It's a QB battle.
The best freaking player on the team.
They're still competing.
Seattle.
It's not a clear-cut starter.
They have no identity, dude.
They don't.
They could have an identity running the football, but guess what? Penny gets hurt all the time.
Yeah.
But when Penny's on the field, you could argue he's a top 10 back. Seriously. By production. Chris Carson. Same thing with him. He's freaking good when he plays. But he has had some fumble issues. The last time he was on the field, you could argue he should not be a starter just because of the fumbles.
So here's my thing. Seattle should just start running the option like Navy and Army. That's their
All
problem
right, we're gonna
solving.
go ahead and move on. We already
Right.
know that that's the worst team, but who is going to win this division? That's the big question.
The Rams winning this
Playing
division.
safe.
I am playing it safe.
I mean, to be honest, they got better.
They did get better. Free agency has worked out.
They got Wagner.
Wagner.
Not the great Wagner that we know, but a good Wagner.
Yeah. Still seasoned.
Allen Robinson has had injuries and issues, but
Yeah.
he's great. He's great. Better than OJ.
And Matthew Stafford's coming off of a great season. Probably the best season that he's had in a while.
Van Jefferson.
Yeah, Van Jefferson as well, and then Cooper Kupp. And then you got Aaron Donald coming back.
Yeah, they're loaded.
They're loaded.
Aaron Donald going to come back?
They're
Super Bowl.
They're my favorite.
Bring him back.
They're my favorites going into the Super Bowl.
Yeah, they're loaded everywhere.
Yeah. How could you not?
I'm going to play it safe too. I'm going to get the Rams as well.
So my sleeper team, it comes down to.
Ooh, maybe Seahawks.
No. But it comes down to this. Like, I've been keeping an eye on these two teams, especially the Deebo Samuel.
How was Jimmy G not traded?
That is a good question. How is he not traded? And Trey Lance not the starter. I think Trey Lance could be a tremendous quarterback in this league, especially being behind Jimmy G. You know, I mean, much respect for Jimmy G.
Jimmy G should go with the Seahawks, dude.
Oh, that
makes sense.
That would make sense.
49ers probably wouldn't do that because they don't want to play against him.
No.
So he'd probably
that'd be stupid.
Texans they're stubborn. They're not going to take him.
No.
They're like, oh, no, Davis Mills, he's the answer.
Like,
they got plenty of backups.
There's no other options for Jimmy G to go, you know?
Maybe Steelers?
As a backup or a backup?
He'd be the starter if he went over there right now, day one.
He'd be over Kenny Pickett?
He'd be better than Pickett right now, I bet you. But they're not going to do that.
So
he has to just stay there and just eventually just get benched, which is stupid.
So
he's a starter in this league. He has choked.
Yeah,
like a worse version of Kirk Cousins.
You know what this reminds me of? You know what this reminds me of? The Alex Smith and Colin Kaepernick situation. Before Alex Smith went to Kansas City, and then the Alex Smith and Patrick Mahomes situation.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying, but
yeah, not the same scenario, but kind of the same situation. But
or you say Dak Prescott, Tony Romo.
That too. I mean, but since it's the 49ers, it's happened more than once. You know?
Yeah.
So same thing with Montana and Young. Steve Young played for Montana, and Montana went to Kansas City. So could we possibly see Jimmy G go to the Chiefs? History repeats itself because that's what Alex Smith did.
That wouldn't make any sense.
It wouldn't make sense.
Patrick Mahomes is young, and he had a not as good year last year, but he's still a top 3, top 5 quarterback.
But you get what I mean by this whole history repeats itself?
Yeah, pretty much.
So never say never on that one, but
I got the Cardinals as my sleeper dark horse team.
Right.
Because Kyler Murray's coming back.
Kyler had so many ups and downs.
He had
one point where it's a good stretch where he looked like the MVP.
Yeah.
And he had the last stretch where he came back from that injury and looked like a bottom tier quarterback.
I think part of that is losing Larry Fitz as a weapon too. So that might have been a problem. I mean, Larry Fitz kind of bailed him out a little bit.
Cardinals just had so many positives last year, then they had so many negatives. Like when the year went on, they just got worse.
Yeah.
But man, they were so dang good at the beginning. James Conner, he revamped his career. Travis Etienne, my bad. Who's that one guy? The guy that went to the Dolphins.
Chase Edmonds.
There you go. He's shown that he could go play somewhere.
Yeah.
I mean, who cares? He goes to the Dolphins.
But I seriously think that Arizona might have the edge because San Fran might not have an identity without Deebo Samuel, and Deebo Samuel's not going back to San Fran with or without a trade. That's my take. I mean,
Deebo's still there though.
He's still there, but
he's going to play this year. He has no choice.
He may not have choice, but he could pull a TO.
Yeah, the Rams are going to win. I think it's going to be close with the 49ers.
But
2 games.
Let me go back to Deebo real quick. Deebo's probably going to hold out like TO did with the Eagles. I mean, Did you not see him turn away from the kid trying to get an autograph? He had a freaking 49ers football, and he turned away from him. So you think
That's so stupid.
It is ridiculous, but do you think he actually wants to play for the 49ers? Hell no. If they're not
because like that doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah.
You're literally doing everything for that team.
Yeah.
Like, they're going to pay you the bag. And for you not to stay there and just get some running back carries, like you're built like a running back, but you're like, no, I'm a wide receiver. Dude, that's so selfish.
Yeah.
I can't, like, I'm not even going to joke. Like, I lost total, like, respect for him. And I love to watch him because he's going to run over you. He's going to run.
Yeah.
He's going to push for extra yards. He's going to,
he's a ridiculous athlete, man.
He's like Le'Veon Bell on steroids when Le'Veon Bell came into the league.
Yeah.
Just a way
That's a good comparison right
there. You know what I'm saying? Like the way he runs the ball and all that.
Yeah.
But it's just
crazy to me. He was Steve Slayton, what Steve Slayton should have been. Minus the strength.
That's a hot take, bro.
Okay. Maybe. Yeah, you're right. That is a hot take.
That was really bad.
But we'll toss that. But
I'm sorry. That was. I'm like.
Well, anyway, we're moving on.
My running backs.
All right. Well, we'll go back.
I'm sorry. But no, I'm going to just say that I'm going to play safe. 49ers are going to be mine.
Oh,
I think they're going to be. I think it's going to be. These three teams are all going to make the playoffs. There's no way around it. I just think it's pretty set in stone there.
So, with Kyler's ups and downs, Jimmy G's still the starter. No Debo. You think the 49ers are going to beat the Cardinals, and you think that all three of them are going into the playoffs?
Dude, the defense.
Arizona doesn't have that good of a defense.
The 49ers do.
Oh.
I think they're good defense. They're good run defense. They can make plays in the secondary at times.
Yeah, that is true.
Not consistently, but they can.
And another
Warner, Tart, these guys can make plays.
So another thing I wanted to bring up, Trent Williams, he's also a 99 overall. He's the first offensive lineman to hit that 99 club.
Yeah. Right.
So.
And there's no way around it. He had the best. I don't like to say PFF because it's just their own thing. I don't want to get screwed or whatever. But no, PFF had the best grades ever recorded for a run blocking and just an overall offensive lineman last season.
Yeah.
And he's, 30-something years old now? 31 years old, bro? It's insane.
That dude is...
He's a mauler.
He's what the...
Don't get involved.
No, he's
one part.
If you asked him for a chicken salad, he'd probably punch you in the face.
He wants a steak salad.
He wants a pizza. He wants 3 pizzas in a box.
But hey, that's all I got.
Yeah, but I did mention that the USFL championship did go into fruition. That's the first spring league that actually went through to have a Super Bowl or their own Super Bowl. We'll call it their own Super Bowl, but it's the USFL championship.
Right.
The Birmingham Stallions won. They had a terrific season. They looked good throughout the whole season up until against the Houston Gamblers, which they faltered this season. But
all right.
Yeah, but any final thoughts, man, before we get off and enjoy ourselves?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we got a party coming up right after this, so hey, gonna have to cut it a little short, but hey, I feel like we had a good long time, honestly.
Yeah.
An hour and a half.
Hour and a half.
But yeah, I mean, good pod. I think if there's any questions that y'all drop in the comment section, I'll go and answer some of those questions.
As will I.
But hey, it's a good pod, and I think this year's just around the corner. This season.
Check us out next week when it'll be Thursday night at around 8:30ish, I believe, because I will be working on days, and 8:30 will be a good time for us to start live. We'll go live, and we're going to talk about top 5 players in quarterbacks, running backs, and receivers.
Oh, yeah. It's going to be good.
And also, we're going to break down who we think is going to win the Big 12 this season, who we think is going to win the Big 12. So, going to have to do your research, bud.
Yeah, that's fine.
Gonna have to start making Twitter or something. But anyway, yeah, that's all we got here tonight. Just tune in next week, Thursday at 8 p.m., 8:30 p.m. I'll get it scheduled before we start.
Right.
So we'll talk about NFL's top 5 quarterbacks, who we think is going to be top 5 this season, top 5 running backs, and top 5 receivers, overall receivers, not just slots.
I can't do that. That's my bread and butter right there.
That's why I got him, folks, because he's good with the stats. He's good with
skill players.
He knows their weak spots and strengths.
I like to think I do. I mean, I'm not. I like to think I do.
He's a guru.
I do a lot of watching film, and I've been doing this for.
Stop trying to be humble to them.
I've been doing this for like 10 years, so I like to think I have a good idea of what makes a good player and what makes a player for what they are and what they're good at and what they're bad at. So yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, we'll talk about the Big 12 also. Talk about who's going to win that division, and also talk about teams coming in to the Big 12.
Okay.
So this team right here, UCF, is officially a Big 12 team. So golf claps to them.
They deserve it.
They deserve it, especially after
they're going to get destroyed. But anyways.
Oh, I don't know about that. They got some good talents.
Another story for another day.
Yep.
All right, guys. TJ's going to close y'all out.
Yes, sir. Good having you on here, bud.
All right, you're in my house.
Yep. I'll pay the bill. But anyway, so thank you for joining us here tonight, and I cannot wait to talk about next week. I had a great time tonight, so we got to get going here pretty soon, so I got to close this out. We are the best football podcast in all of YouTube, soon to be Spotify, soon to be Facebook Live. We are the cream of the crop. We are the PMP. Thank you so much for watching, and y'all have a blessed day. Thank you so much.